As MND had previously explained, SERS involves compulsory acquisition and is highly selective. Looking ahead, we will focus our efforts and resources on VERS, and we currently have no plans to do any more SERS. Some have asked why HDB flats and most private properties are sold with 99-year leases. Now, the fundamental reason is this: we need to be fair to future generations. After 99 years, when the land is returned to the state, we can recycle it to build new flats, new homes for future generations. As then PM Lee explained in his NDR speech in 2018, several of our older estates were rapidly built up in the 1970s and 1980s to meet our urgent housing demand at that time. If we leave all the leases to naturally run down, to reach 99 years to naturally run down, we will need to relocate a large number of residents and build many new homes within a short time in the 2070s and 2080s. We do not need to scale up the Voluntary Early Redevelopment Scheme of VERS until sometime in the late 2030s, when the older flats reach their 70-year mark. That is still more than a decade away, but our agencies have started work on VERS because we know this is a complex policy and a long-term undertaking. In this term of government, our aim is to develop and flesh out the VERS framework. Unlike the Selective En Bloc Redevelopment Scheme or SERS, which involves precincts with high redevelopment potential, there's less financial upside with VERS because the flats will be older and hence the terms will be less generous. As VERS will be voluntary, there could also be instances where residents who are offered VERS collectively decide not to proceed. Right? That's possible. They may collectively choose not to proceed. Now, for these residents, they can continue to stay in their flats until the leases run out. The government will support them in other ways to keep their flats and their estates livable and vibrant. For the resale market, I understand there remain some concerns about resale flat prices. Fundamentally, resale flat prices are set by the market supply and demand at prices agreed between buyers and sellers. These flats remain attractive to buyers because they allow for immediate occupancy, and buyers can choose their preferred flat attributes such as location and size. Hence, it's reasonable for resale flats in prime locations with desirable attributes to sell at higher prices. What we want is for prices to move in tandem with income growth, so that the two move over time, the two move together. So we don't want it to outpace income growth. We also want to avoid too much volatility in the market. We are seeing some moderation in price growth. The quarter-on-quarter resale price index, or RPI growth, for last quarter is the lowest since second quarter 2020. The number of BTO flats which reach their MOP will increase from 8,000 flats this year to 13,500 flats next year, 15,000 flats in 2027, and 19,500 flats in 2028. And this will increase the potential supply of resale flats in the market. We will also continue to put out a strong pipeline of BTO flats to meet demand. So these two moves, one is to increase the supply, one is to reduce the demand for resale flats. Taken together, we believe it will help us to see stabilization of resale flat prices in the years ahead. So when conditions allow, we plan to remove the 15-month wait-out period for private property owners to buy non-subsidized HDB flats, because this was introduced earlier as a temporary cooling measure. Let me highlight some key initiatives that we are undertaking. The first is CorNet X. This is a one-stop shop front for all regulatory approvals for building works. And since its soft launch in December of 2023, the platform has seen over 50 projects involving 100 firms in total. The users have told us that they benefited from faster approvals and also less abortive work. Some projects even achieved time savings of up to 2 months at the construction gateway clearance stage. So from 1st October 2025, CorNet X submissions will be mandatory for all new projects with GFA of at least 30,000 square meters. So these are the larger projects. We will start with this category first. And from 1st October 2026, all new projects, including those smaller than 30,000 square meters, will be required to make regulatory submissions via ConnectX. Currently, businesses need to obtain URA's permission for change of use within commercial spaces in JTC, business parks, and also community centers managed by PA. This process takes about 2 weeks with a fee of $500. URA's permission is likewise currently required for land-based solar farm projects, and the application fee is $3,500. We are working on streamlining the process such that URA's permission will no longer be required for such proposals. Business owners will just need to obtain the respective landowner's consent and comply with the relevant authorities' requirements for their proposals. So this will help to shorten the regulatory process, reduce time and costs for businesses. So if you have enjoyed the light projections at the Singapore River Festival, or vibed to the pop and electronic music at the District M event in Marina Central, or tried out the interesting chairs at Raffles Place Park, you will have benefited from URA's pilot Business Improvement Districts, or BIDs. These are all pilot BID projects where private sector stakeholders come together with government support to develop multi-year business plans to inject vibrancy into their precincts. The program has received positive feedback, and MND will propose a new legislation to formalize the BID model. Commercial property owners can self-organize and form their own BIDs and drive place management efforts. This will make our precincts livelier, bring businesses more footfall, and benefit our community with more lifestyle options. And this includes working with the businesses via the BID model to revitalize our nightlife industry.